I'm Bob Trask. For more than 40 years, I've been teaching consciousness in places around the world, and I've been guiding countless people to lives of personal excellence. Today, I'm going to talk about a hidden value that you possess, a value that can change your world. This is a difficult time in our world, isn't it? Many people are living in fear because, well, they can't get enough money to live. Homelessness is just rampant here in America. Boy, there are just homeless people everywhere. And the job market is down and the cost of living is skyrocketing. Meanwhile, the threat of war is so real that a lot of teenagers are wondering if they even have a future. There's never been a more important time for you and me to step up. And stepping up means bringing forth our most authentic selves into this world and becoming inspirational to others. George Eliot said, "What do we live for if it's not to make life less difficult for each other?" That's a good question. What do we live for if it's not to make life less difficult for each other? See, here's the thing, is that there are 8 billion of us on this planet right now. Now, if you're watching this at a future time, because this is back in the gentle time of 2026, you may be watching this in 2050 or another time, and you might be saying, "What's he talking about? 8 billion." But there's only 8 billion of us here right now. But there aren't 8 billion, there are 8 billion individuals. But of those individuals, there is something in them that most of them don't get in touch with, and it's called consciousness. And that consciousness is who we are. And we are all incarnations of that consciousness. That one great intelligent energetic intelligence. It's a being, but it's not like a human being. It's a being. It's consciousness. It's all that there is. And it's alive and it's aware and it's awake and it knows who you are because you're an incarnation of it. And you possess all of the power of it and all of the love of it. And how that comes out of you and touches the rest of us in this 8 billion person family is when you are inspirational, when you allow yourself to be inspirational. Now, what do I mean by inspirational? Do I mean that you have to go online and give a talk or stand in front of an auditorium and incite people to be more than they've been in the past? No, I don't mean that. I mean that because you're unique and individual, the only one that's ever been, ever will be on this planet, you have within you something that no one else has. No one else has your fingerprint. No one else has your voice print or the neuronal pattern in your brain or your eye print. No one else has your voice print. No one else is you. No one else ever will be you. And what can come out of you from Holy Spirit, from consciousness, is unlike anything anyone else ever could bring out. And if you do that, you change your world. And how do we do that? How do we do that? How do we inspire other people? You are right now changing people's lives by inspiring, whether you know it or not, or whether it's for the better or for the worst. And you can't help it because you're a separate, unique jewel of a being, and you're changing lives every day by being in this world. My old friend Dick Prenicky, who went alone into the wilderness of Alaska, and alone using hand tools, he built a home, a log home, and he lived there for many, 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 many years alone in the wilderness. So some might say, well, now there's an example of somebody who was not inspirational to other people. But Dick filmed himself while he was building the cabin, filmed himself while he was using each of those individual tools, while he was hiking the high country. And those films are being seen today all over the world. One Man's Wilderness is the book he wrote. And it's like a Bible to some people. He's touched so many lives because he decided to be Dick Proenneke. He decided to living in the hubbub of society of other people around him was not who he was. He needed to be alone in the wilderness to let himself come out, to let the fullness of himself come out. He did that. He changed the world. You do that, you change the world. I don't mean you have to go into the wilderness and build a cabin. I mean, wherever you or whatever you're doing, you just need to let yourself out so that we inspire people, so that their lives can become better. And we do that. But we need to do it more deliberately. We need to make it a passion. We need to make it a plan, a mission. Because this world needs us right now. This world's going a little bit crazy and it's a little bit upside down. And we need people. We need you. We need me. We need all of us to step up. And we start by getting people to trust us. I mean, hard to inspire somebody if they don't trust you. So you need to get people to trust you. And the way we get people to trust us is by being absolutely authentic. Be you, the real you. No pretenses. No pretenses. No, and we do pretend. We pretend because we know what it's going to. We know how we have to be in order for other people to accept us. We know how we have to be in order to get things done. We have to be a certain way. Don't be a certain way. Just be you. And when you do, then that light comes on inside of you, and it floods out of you, and it touches other lives. It inspires people. And we're talking today about being inspiration. And are we completely authentic with others? Let's remember that we're not here alone. There are billions of us on this planet, and we need each other. I might be riding in a car today that was made by a father in Japan, and you might be using a computer that was made by a mother in China. A mother, father. Your friend is wearing trousers made by a teenager in Mexico. And that person over there is taking a medication made by a trans person, a technician in Germany. We need each other. But we need each other more than just to pass goods back and forth between each other. We need to pass ourselves back and forth between each other. How about you go into a grocery store and you're walking down the aisle pushing your cart. Coming the other way, here comes a woman. She's not the kind of woman you'd normally associate yourself with. You just glance at her and glance away. That she's not your kind of person. She's not. What you probably don't realize is that she just glanced at you and looked away and said, that's not the kind of person I associate with either. Because she's just a different kind. Maybe she's dressed differently, or maybe her body size or type is differently, or her age, or maybe she's got a sour look on her face, or there's something about her that you just would look away. She did the same thing with you. But we can't be separate. We can't do that. So I say, "Hi, how are you doing today?" She looks over at me, a little startled. "How are you doing today?" "I'm doing fine." "Good, good. I want you to know you make my day, just being who you are." And then I just roll my cart on by. Did I change her life? I changed her day. I changed her moment. That's my job. My job is not just to be me inside of myself, going around looking at Bob Trask. My job is to reach out to you and touch you. And when I do that, I grow. When I do that, I become more of who I came here to be. When I do that, my lights come on inside of me. My life becomes more joyful. We need to be able to get past our judgments. So if I look at that lady and I say, well, she's wearing this crazy ass clothes and she's overweight, and look in her cart, she's got, 2 6-packs of beer and a sack of Doritos. I mean, see, I can do all of that stuff, but all of that stuff just blocks me from her. Whether I like or not like what I'm seeing, she is me in a different incarnation. She's me. Stop judging. I have to stop judging. I've stopped criticizing. I have to just love her as she is. Boy, a big step, because we grew up judging each other. We grew up looking at each other and say, yes, no, 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 yes. We grew up doing that. So we need to break that habit. When we look at each other, we see that's me in a different incarnation. So let me say hi to me. Hi, how you doing today? Good to see you. Can we keep our beautiful, beautiful, inspirational minds and our beautiful, beautiful, inspirational hearts free of accusations? Ah, that's when we're truly authentic. The one value that we can count on is that self is pure consciousness. That's self, not the ego self, not the identity, not your name or your house or your car or your religion or your political party, your your self. If all of that went away, what would be left? Just self. That self is pure consciousness. It's eternal. You are eternal. That you beautiful you was never born, will never die. You are forever. And that you is so preciously unique that no other being in any other galaxy or universe can ever compare with you. That core of beingness is your inspirational value to the world. And in truth, it's your only value. It's my only value. It's our only value. All of the rest of it is pretend. Roles that we're playing on the stage of life. And the authentic us is always more than enough. Always. We just need to express it and learn to express it. And that's what I'm talking about today, is for us to begin to express that unique individuality, to express that authenticity, to express it in a way that uplifts other people. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make it a better world if you can. When we do, the lives around us are being uplifted. Being authentic means making our actions and our words always express our inner values, express who we really are. The great author, Kurt Vonnegut, said, "We are what we pretend to be." So we must be careful about what we pretend to be. Let's not pretend to be anything. Let's every day Look at who we are. Now, here's the thing, interesting thing, is that if I looked at who I was yesterday, authentically, all of the identities and all of the ego and my name, Bob Trask, and sea captain, wilderness guide, diver, all of that stuff went away. All of that was gone. And I was just me, no name, just me. Who would I be? If you didn't have your story, your life story, who would you be? If you didn't have your name, who would you be? If I didn't have any of that, who would I be? Kurt Vonnegut said, we are what we pretend to be. So what if we stop pretending? Then who would we be? We'd be pure consciousness. We'd be pure love. We'd be pure connection with the universe, with the people, but also with the animals, with the trees, with the wind, with the seas, with the sky, the stars, the mountains, the eagle hanging on an updrift of wind. We would be. And we would be inspirational. But the way we become is to teach that authentic me to reach out to you, to reach out. And if some don't like that, well, they just need to grow up. Because the truth is that when we trust ourselves, we're inspiring the world, you and I, and we're doing it well. Because that's what we are. We are powerful, powerful lights. And we've learned to turn those lights down and to put shades over certain parts of those lights because people don't like them. That's their problem. Turn your lights all the way back on. We're inspiring our world even when we're not trying. So let's try so we can make sure that we inspire it in the right direction. There's no other voice like yours, no other laugh, no other smile. You're unique and precious, and you're perfect exactly the way you are right now in the world, right now. You say, well, but I've got a disease. That disease isn't who you are. That's something that's hanging on to you, but it's not who you are. Who are you beyond that? Who are you beyond your age? Some of us are older. Are we really old? Like if you look deep inside of yourself, if you're old, if you're like me in your late 80s, and you look deep inside of yourself, you see that little kid's still there and gone anywhere. Little kid's still there. Little kid's still inside of you. Let that little kid come back alive and laugh and dance and sing. And maybe your body is such that you can't dance, but you can still sing and you can still laugh. And you need to find every way that you possibly can to laugh because that's the healing balm of your heart. That's the healing, soothing lotion of your heart is laughter. And then you get well inside, and that authentic you has the courage to come out. Because you and I are only giving about half of ourselves right now. And we need to turn the lights fully on, because that's what we came here for. To focus on others, not to focus on ourselves, not to focus on how am I doing, what am I doing, how do I feel, what am I wearing, how do people like me or not like me. We'll stop focusing on ourselves and start focusing just on what can I give. And when we start flowing our true selves out into the world, wow, because that's who we really are, pure consciousness in each of its infinite forms. What we came here to do is to grow and to help others grow in wisdom and in joy. Nothing else. Take everything else off the table. Just take your arm and just sweep everything else off the table. Only two things, wisdom and joy. That's what we're here for, to grow in wisdom and joy. We don't grow in wisdom by following other people. You have your path. Your path is sometimes easy, sometimes hard, sometimes got real bumps in it, but your path teaches you and you gain your wisdom. And it's not like my wisdom. It's not my wisdom. And you have your joy, and it's not my joy. But we can share our wisdom and share our joy if we are willing to be open and touch each other, reach out and touch. So let's abandon our needs to be liked. Let's abandon our needs to feel important. And let's seek instead to feel valuable. Valuable rather than important. And let's inspire others by listening to them, by uplifting them, by encouraging them. Because when we're positively impacting others, we see our beautiful selves clearly. George Bernard Shaw said, "You see things and you say, why? I dream things that never were, and I say, why not?" And today, let's say together, why not? You know, um, I was once asked to counsel a young man who had just recently taken the life of a friend by running over her with his truck, and he was in really really bad shape, and he was filled with remorse and with sadness, and he'd been talked to by his parents, he'd been talked to by the police, he'd been talked to by investigators again and again about what happened, how did it happen, then what happened, but nobody had asked him about himself. No one had asked him about him. And when I first started talking to him, he wouldn't open up to me. He just nod his head or give little brief answers because he was hiding inside. And it took a while before I could get him to come out. And when I did, he was so raw. He was an open wound. And he talked and talked and cried and talked and talked. And he healed, began to heal. That's inspiration. Was I inspiring him? Yes, that's inspiration. We have to be available. And we can't listen to our intellects. Our intellects are the results of a computer. We can't listen to our ego, which is the guardian of our intellects. One of my favorite authors, Ray Bradbury, said, if we listen to our intellects, we would never have a love affair, ever. We'd never have a friendship. We'd never go into business because we'd be cynical. It's going to be wrong. Or she's going to hurt me, or I've already had a bad love affair. Bradbury says, well, that's nonsense. You're going to miss life. You've got to jump off the cliff all the time and build your wings on the way down. Thank you, Ray Bradbury. What he didn't say is that the only time you will ever build wings is on the way down. You will not build wings while sitting inside of your ego box. The only time you'll ever build wings and learn how to fly is when you jump out of that nest and take a risk. Because our success in every part of life depends on relationships. And the best way to build relationships is by inspiring others and showing someone you care. Norman Cousins said, the greatest death is that which dies inside while we live. My friends, we have an opportunity today, this day that you're listening to this message, to change my life, to change your life. And I'm looking at me while I'm talking to you, and I'm saying, what do I need to do to change my life? How much of me is actually out there? If you went to a doctor to have surgery and he came in to do surgery, but his mind was on his golf game and his kid who just maybe started taking drugs, and he was looking at those things while he was doing surgery, you're getting maybe 2/3 of him. That isn't enough. If you're getting 2/3 of him, you're not getting him. 2/3 of anything isn't the thing. 2/3 of anything isn't the thing. The thing is the thing. It's all 100% or it's not 100%. I may be right now giving 7/8 of myself to the world. I'm giving a lot. I acknowledge that. I'm dedicated to doing what I can to help uplift and transform the world. I've got a few 100,000 graduates in different parts of the world. I'm doing my work. But I also look at the fact that, listen to me, I'm not there yet. Because every time I reach out and touch, a little part of me grows. And every time I reach out and touch after that, it's a bigger part of me. And when you are willing to reach out and touch, to expand your ability to touch other people, you expand inside, you become more. And I'm asking us now to become more. I'm asking us to do that. I want to finish today by quoting Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if you know who Thich Nhat Hanh is. He passed away last year, but he was a young Buddhist monk and he was so clean. Oh boy. When I say clean, I'm talking about he had no stuff going on. He didn't try to do or be eloquent or be important or be grand or any. He just was a quiet, humble, beautiful person. And what came out of him was jewels of wisdom and joy. And he said this: ask yourself, who can I make smile this morning? That's it. Who can I make smile this morning? That's inspiration. And finally, my old friend Mark Twain, good old Mark Twain, great author, great columnist, great comic, just a great guy, said the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. So today, let's find out why. Let's make it a plan today to touch someone's life. And maybe it'll be by, as I was with that young man who had taken a life, maybe it'll be by listening, just listening and asking questions and letting someone else come out to play, asking deeper questions. How did you feel about that? Did something change in your life then? Asking those questions, and not only just asking them to be nice, but to learn, to allow that person to touch me. And maybe it'll be by just saying, you look great today. Thanks for being you. Whatever it is, you'll know what it is. Let's go forward and do that. This week, let's touch someone's life. This week, let's make someone's life better. And would you please stop by bobtrask.com? That's my website, bobtrask.com. There's a donate button there. And if you could just leave a few shekels there to help me expand my work in the world, boy, I'll just so appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you next week.